Good evening. I would like to call to order the December 17th, 2024 Little Rock City Board of Directors meeting. We would like to welcome those in attendance as well as those watching at home or streaming online. Madam Clerk, if you would please call the roll.
Director Miller, Director Richardson, Director Peck, Director Hines, Director Lewis,
Director Lewis, if you will unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Just say present.
Present.
Director Wyrick, Director Campuris, Director Phillips, Director Adcock, Vice Mayor Webb, Mayor Scott.
Present. Let me now recognize City Director Wyrick, who will give our invocation.
Just saying.
Sorry about that. I apologize.
Thank you. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and allowing us to meet in this public forum. We thank you for all our city employees and the work they perform for our citizens every day. We thank you for this board, the city clerk, the mayor, and for the love and interest that they have in our city. We pray for peace in our world this Christmas season. Let your love overcome hatred and unite nations in harmony. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Bring healing to our land, Lord. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
May please stand for a pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, if you would, please read the three modifications and the consent agenda. Well, first, we have three modifications. You'll read those.
You want me to read them, or do you want to?
A motion, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah,
Members of the board, we have three modifications. If we would get a motion. There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Madam Clerk, if you would, please read the consent agenda.
Which includes M1.
Yes.
A motion to approve January 9th, 2024, January 23rd, 2024, February 6th, 2024, February 20th, 2024, March 5th, 2024, March 19th, 2024, minutes of the Little Rock City Board of Directors meeting. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with CHF Contractors Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $366,677.76 for Ward 2 sidewalks and for other purposes, funding from the limited tax general obligation capital improvement bonds. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Positive Results Lawn Services Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $138,000 for Cherry Bark Drive drainage improvement project and for other purposes, funding from the limited tax general obligation capital improvement bonds. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Positive Results Lawn Services Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $108,567 for Dorchester Drive drainage improvement projects and for other purposes, funding from the limited tax general obligation capital improvement bonds. A resolution to amend Little Rock, Arkansas Resolution number 16,364, July 2nd, 2024, to authorize the city manager to amend the contract with RPPY Architects to provide additional services, including programming, surveying, and geotechnical services for the Little Rock District Courts Building and Little Rock Police Department Property Room Project and for other purposes, funding from the limited tax general obligation capital improvement bonds. A resolution to transfer property to Brittany Hobbs, owner of YSD Design and Development from the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, to be used for neighborhood revitalization programs and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Clear Creek Golf Car and Utility Vehicles in an amount not to exceed $97,086.40, plus applicable taxes and fees for the purchase of 4 Club Car 700 electric carts for the Little Rock Zoo and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Bell Chevrolet in an amount not to exceed $87,571.20, plus applicable taxes and fees for the purchase of two 2025 Chevrolet 1500 trucks for the Public Works landfill and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Smart Chevrolet in an amount not to exceed $52,000 plus applicable taxes and fees for the purchase of one 2025 Chevrolet 3500 Silverado four-wheel drive truck for the Public Works landfill and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with J.A. Riggs in an amount not to exceed $559,700 plus applicable taxes and fees for the purchase of one Caterpillar Model D6 RY dozer for the Public Works landfill and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with MHC Kenworth LLC in an amount not to exceed $181,819.70 plus applicable taxes and fees for the purchase of one Kenworth water truck model T180 for the Public Works landfill and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with J.A. Riggs in an amount not to exceed $490,660.51 plus applicable taxes and fees for the purchase of one Caterpillar Model 350 AK excavator for the Public Works landfill and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Bell Chevrolet in an amount not to exceed $242,900 plus applicable taxes and fees for the purchase of seven 2025 Chevrolet Equinox and SUVs for various city departments and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the mayor to enter into a contract with Catherine A. Davin in an amount not to exceed $180,000 for the purchase of approximately 4 acres of land in a residential structure for the use by the Little Rock Port Authority and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the mayor to enter into a contract with Jane M. Bogus Limited Partnership in an amount not to exceed $55,000 for the purchase of approximately 30 acres of land for the use of the Little Rock Port Authority and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the mayor to enter into a contract with Mark R. Stivers and Stivers Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $736,500 for the purchase of approximately 49 acres of land for use by the Little Rock Port Authority and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the mayor to enter into a contract with the estate of Mary Ratcliffe and/or John August Martins Williams, Adams Ratcliffe III, and Catherine A. Ratcliffe individually as the heirs of the estate of Mary Ratcliffe in an amount not to exceed $11,118,575 for the purchase of approximately 800 acres of land for the use of the Little Rock Port Authority and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Gray Bar Electric Company Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $151,615 plus applicable taxes and fees for the purchase of uninterruptible power supply system and for other purposes, funding from the American Rescue Plan Act. A resolution to certify local government endorsement of ELOPAC Incorporated located at 63101 Zuber Drive, Little Rock, Arkansas, to participate in the Arkansas Tax Back Program as authorized by Arkansas Code Section 15-4, 2706D of the Consolidated Incentive Act of 2003 and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Dell Technologies in an amount not to exceed $66,826.55 plus applicable taxes and fees to upgrade desktop and laptops for the Little Rock Police Department and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Ketcher and Company Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $554,015 for the replacement of portions of the roof at Dunbar Community Center and for other purposes, funding from the American Rescue Plan Act. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Promas LLC in an amount not to exceed $169,061.78 plus applicable taxes and fees for the purchase of Promas firewalls hardware for the Information Technology Department and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Freeit Nutanix Cloud Pro software in an amount not to exceed $1,014,117.94 plus applicable taxes and fees to purchase Freeit Nutanix Cloud Infrastructure Pro software and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into execute a contract with Microsoft Professional Services in an amount not to exceed $124,154 to provide professional services, support, and training on Microsoft projects and for other purposes. A resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Presidio Networked Solutions to replace outdated access points, upgraded technology to enhance cybersecurity, increase speed and internet coverage, and for other purposes, funding from the American Rescue Plan Act. A resolution authorizes the city manager to implement a digital skills growth program at J.A. Fair High School with the Little Rock School District for after-school and summer programs to use $150,000 from a United States Conference of Mayors grant for such program to pursue digital equity programs of the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, and to permit the city to cooperate with the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences and the Little Rock School District in the implementation of this program and for other purposes. A resolution authorizes the city manager to execute a contract with Beyond Trust in an amount not to exceed $129,400 plus applicable taxes and fees to purchase a software management system for the Little Rock Information Technology Department and for other purposes. A resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into a contract with Griffin Group LLC in an amount not to exceed $65,000 for asbestos abatement and demolition of an unsafe commercial building located at 3900 3910 Asher Avenue to declare an emergency and for other purposes. A resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into a contract with Thomas Reuters in an amount not to exceed $206,645.04 plus applicable taxes and fees to purchase a subscription to West Proflex and for other purposes. A resolution to amend Little Rock, Arkansas Resolution Number 15,524, August 17th, 2021, and Little Rock, Arkansas Resolution Number 15,783, August 6th, 2022, as to the estimated total funding for the Parks and Communities Recreation Centers and investment to affordable housing and efforts to decrease homelessness and for other purposes. That concludes the consent agenda.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Oh, we got her. We heard her.
Aye.
Director Lewis, can you show your picture when you say aye?
Aye.
Thank you. You can take it off now. Thank you. Madam Clerk, if you would, please read the grouped items plus M2 and M3 for the first time.
An ordinance approving a plan zoning development to establish a plan office district titled Access Village, POD, located at 7814 T Street, City of Little Rock, Arkansas, amending the official zoning map of the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, and for other purposes. An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Arkansas Municipal League Municipal Vehicle Program at a total cost of $1,400,000 to administer a self-insurance program for the City of Little Rock's motor vehicle liability insurance and for other purposes. An ordinance reassessing the benefits to be received by the owners of each of the several lots, blocks, and parcels of land within Riverdale Levy Improvement District Number 134 of Little Rock, Arkansas, to declare an emergency and for other purposes. I'm sorry. And
M2, I'm sorry.
ordinance to amend Little Rock, Arkansas Ordinance Number 22,343, December 5th, 2023, Ordinance Number 22,502, August 6th, 2024, and Ordinance Number 22,554, November 19th, 2024, to adjust the fiscal year 2024 budget ordinance to reflect expenditure adjustments for the general fund as it pertains to the American Rescue Plan Act to declare an emergency. An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid to authorize the city manager to enter into agreement with Arkansas Municipal League in an amount not to exceed $478,154.76 for the participation of the City of Little Rock, Arkansas in the Municipal League Defense Fund for certain litigation costs, expenses, and coverage to declare an emergency and for other purposes. First reading.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, please say nay. Thank you for showing Director Lewis. All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Before we go to the second reading, thank you, Director Miller and Director Phillips, for sharing catching. We should have taken a vote on an emergency clause for item number 28. All those in favor for emergency clause on item 28, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Right, for,
It was on the resolutions.
it was on the,
It was on the resolutions.
yeah. Thank you. Second reading.
An ordinance approving a plan zoning development to establish a planned office district titled Access Village, POD, located at 7814 T Street, City of Little Rock, Arkansas. An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid, to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with the Arkansas Municipal League Municipal Vehicle Program at a cost of $1,400,000 to administer a self-insurance program for the City of Little Rock's motor vehicle liability insurance and for other purposes. An ordinance reassessing the benefits to be received by the owners of each of the several lots, blocks, and parcels of land within the Riverdale Levy Improvement District Number 134 of Little Rock, Arkansas, to declare an emergency. An ordinance to amend Little Rock, Arkansas Ordinance Number 22,343, December 5th, 2023, ordinance number 22,502, August 6th, 2024, and ordinance number 22,554, November 19th, 2024, to adjust the fiscal year 2024 budget ordinance to reflect expenditure adjustments for the general fund as it pertains to the American Rescue Plan Act, to declare an emergency. An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid, to authorize the city manager to enter into an agreement with Arkansas Municipal League in an amount not to exceed $478,154.76 for the participation of the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, in the Municipal League Defense Fund for certain litigation costs, expenses, and coverage, to declare an emergency. Second reading.
There's a motion, there's a second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Third reading.
An ordinance approving a plan and zoning development to establish a planned office district titled Access Village, POD, located at 7814 T Street. An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid, to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Arkansas Municipal League Municipal Vehicle Program at a total cost of $1,400,000 to administer a self-insurance program for the City of Little Rock's motor vehicle liability insurance and for other purposes. An ordinance reassessing the benefits to be received by the owners of each of the several lots, blocks, and parcels of land within the Riverdale Levy Improvement District Number 134 of Little Rock, Arkansas, to declare an emergency. An ordinance to amend Little Rock, Arkansas Ordinance Number 22,343, December 5th, 2023, Ordinance Number 22,502, August 6th, 2024, and Ordinance Number 22,554, November 19th, 2024, to adjust the fiscal year 2024 budget ordinance to reflect expenditure adjustments for the general fund as it pertains to the American Rescue Plan Act, to declare an emergency. An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid, to authorize the city manager to enter into agreement with Arkansas Municipal League in an amount not to exceed $478,154.76 for the participation of the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, in the Municipal League Defense Fund for certain litigation costs, expenses, and coverage, to declare an emergency. Third and final reading.
Members of the board, we've had 3 readings. Are there any questions? Are there any questions? Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Madam Clerk, if you would, please.
We had emergency clauses for 3.
Thank you so much, Director Hines and others. We also have emergency clause. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Madam Clerk, if you would, please read item number 33.
An ordinance to provide for and to adopt the 2025 budget for the City of Little Rock, Arkansas for the period beginning January 1st, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025, to appropriate resources and uses for every expenditure item and operating fund, to declare an emergency and for other purposes. First reading.
Is there a motion for a second reading? All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Director Campuris. Director Phillips. Director Adcock. Director Miller. Director Peck. Oh, she's absent. Director Hines. Director Lewis.
Aye.
Director Wyrick. Vice Mayor Webb. 4 yeses and 4 nos.
4 yeses, 4 nos. So it fails to go second read. Members of the board, are the reasons why? Any questions on the budget? And if not, we'll schedule for Christmas Eve. Since it's 4-4. Vice Mayor Webb?
Thank you, Mayor Scott. I have a question for the city attorney. I was looking at the Municipal League magazine this month, and it talked about when budgets had to be finished. And we've gotten conflicting information in here, and in the Municipal League book, it said by January 31st. And so I wanted to get a clarification on that.
The statute is going off. There we go.
Just touch it one time. Just speak up loudly. There you go.
The statute requires it to be done by February 1st. We have an ordinance that says it would be done by the end of the fiscal year, December the 31st. The statute ultimately controls stay. The statute ultimately controls, that's when you've got to have it done to be in compliance with state law. If you do anything after December the 31st, the board's going to have to take action and either ratify it or do it, or amend the code to change the date. But the statute is what controls. Y'all have always done December the 31st since I've been here, but that has been an obligation you placed on yourselves.
Thank you.
But members of the board, are there any reasons why you don't want to move forward that you want to publicly state? Please do.
I've got my blue light on. He hasn't.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. I do not feel we're ready to vote on the budget. We have not had an open discussion in front of the public about this. Everything that's been done has been sent by email from our director, and I don't think that's sufficient time for the public to understand what the budget is and what we're doing.
Thank you, Director Adcock. We've had 3 weeks of public hearings and questions. You all decided that you wanted to send us, we asked that in the interim that you send emails, and we sent that out and made certain that it also was online at the behest of the city attorney. So I'm just curious how does the public need to discuss it more than the amount of time we've done before? Nothing, this year is no different than last year or the year before that.
That is my opinion.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Just want to make certain that we haven't done anything different this year than we have in the past years. But seeing no other, if there's no second reading, we can now, Director Phillips.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want a clarification, and that's probably more for the sake of the public. Since the first reading was read today and it failed to get a second reading, theoretically, we could meet next Tuesday and the following Tuesday, Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, and have the third reading on December 31st and vote on December 31st?
No, actually, since it's a second reading, I can call special meetings to get us to that before that. I do know there are a couple board members that have some vacations planned kind of immediately following after Christmas, and so it'd be hard to get a quorum even for that because you need 8 votes to go from second reading to third reading, and moving from that, then all you need is 6. So we can schedule, again, just because I can call them, it doesn't mean everyone will show up based on their schedules. And so normally we do it on Tuesdays. And so the next meeting, just looking at everyone's schedules, we could do December 24th, which is a Tuesday, or we could do December 23rd, which is a Monday, and then vote on Christmas Eve.
And this may be a question for the city attorney, Mayor, but if we're just reading and not taking action, do you still need to have how many people need to be present if it's just being read and not voted on?
6.
6? Okay.
All right. Well, now, is there a motion to go into executive session?
We have a public,
Oh.
34,
You've
a
got
public hearing.
All right, we'll do a public hearing.
And Director Phillips got an ordinance passed that if we had citizen communication, we would take that before going
Okay.
into
Yeah,
executive
that's,
session.
we'll do that.
Appreciate the shout out, City Attorney.
Madam Clerk, you would please read item, the hearing is now open. Would you please read item 34?
A resolution to authorize the mayor and board of directors of the city of Little Rock, Arkansas to certify municipal liens attached to private property for work performed on private property by the city, to forward the certification list of liens to the Pulaski County Treasurer to be collected in the form of property taxes on an annual property tax bill and for other purposes.
All right, all those in favor, well, we close the hearing.
Well, you need to call and see if anybody wishes to speak.
Does anybody wish to speak on the liens? The liens, not the, we'll do citizens communication later, but this is different. Hearing closed. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. We'll now do citizens communication. Ms. Henry? I'm sorry. Yes, sir, I apologize. McHenry, sorry about that.
Hi, my name is Quinn McHenry. I'm from Fairbanks, Alaska. Here I am. I just wanted to take a second to speak on maybe the Metro transit system and being able to regain Saturday service back to us, which we had before COVID, and it seemed to went away. And a lot of people work on Saturdays, and if you work 11 to 7 p.m. shift, and you're really out of luck trying to get some transportation back home or where you need to go. Thanks.
Thank you. Lenny Burberly. I'm sorry, I can't read it. I apologize.
Hello. I was just wanting to speak about, pull it down. Thank you. Good evening. I was just wanting to speak about the meters that are in front of a building that need to be removed, because there's people that's living there and they giving people tickets for the residents that's parking on the front of the building and inside of the building. And another topic I wanted to talk about is the streets. They're all bumpy and tearing up cars. That's all I was concerned about.
Mr. Catino, if you'll get with her and then also with John Honeywell. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Collins?
All above the city streets, the Rock Reach Merchant and replace Greyhound. No mind have it go out of town to go out of town. Certain people we need to hear, because Greyhound wants to come back in Little Rock, but they don't have no spot to go to. I was wondering, is there any way y'all can help Greyhound find a spot? The city bus, the Rock Reach Merchant, fix the streets and replacing the what it is, all above the Rock Reach Merchant, the city bus, fix up the streets. And have Greyhound find a spot in Little Rock. They're trying to find a spot they don't have nowhere to go to, and maybe I can assist them have an idea where to go to, too. And that's all.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Mr. Albert Sims? Simmons, my apologies, Mr. Simmons. Is that it?
Good evening. Albert Simmons, I'm a disabled veteran. I just wanted to ask about the transit system. I work Saturdays, and like the other guy, we can't get to and from work. We don't have ample transit ways.
Thank you. We'll make certain Rock Region, we'll get your information, get that to Rock Region Metro.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have something you want to say? Okay. Director Phillips?
Thank you, Mayor, and I appreciate the citizens made those comments about Rock Region Metro. So I was going to ask the acting city manager to get with the folks at Rock Region Metro to get us an update on what the service and what the plan is for on Saturdays, and if we can get a board packet with that answer, that way we can respond to folks who reached out to us like today. So we'll get some information and be able to share it with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Director Hines?
Yeah, Tom, this is, it seems to be keep coming up, and I don't know if Greyhound's trying to blame us for something, but folks get confused between our public transit system at Rock Region Metro and Greyhound Bus Lines, which is a for-profit entity. They can operate anywhere in the city that the zoning allows, correct? They would just need to either lease or purchase a building within the proper zoning and set up operations?
Essentially, that's correct.
Okay.
Essentially, that's correct. There are some federal things for interstate and interstate bus services that you really don't need me to go into. So, but
Okay.
yes, they can.
Thank you.
Members of the board, would you all like to state some dates to schedule the second reading? So, because we have staff members within the city of Little Rock are kind of looking at their holidays, and when they take vacation, I would love to give them some indication if they need to be working on Christmas Eve, if they've taken vacation on Christmas Eve, do they need to be in at work? Director Wyatt?
Thank you, Mayor. I would prefer not Christmas Eve, but I'm happy to attend at any time. I had a list of questions that I put together and gave them to the finance person and got my answers back yesterday, and I was satisfied with my questions versus the answers. So those that have got issues with the budget or still have questions, I think they're the ones that need to determine how long it's going to take before they're going to want to meet again to talk about it.
And it's fine with me. We can come back on January 1 or 6 or 7, and what I can do is schedule some time, and I'll just do that. But again, to the board members who haven't spoken up yet, and I hope you will, please, we've had this on the agenda for 4 weeks. Our city department directors spend hours on a particular day to go through all of their items. And there were questions there. There were questions at the presentation by Nick Sarpy. And there are weeks and weeks and weeks that have happened. It's been on the full agenda. Members of the city have had the opportunity to talk through them. You all have sent several questions, which we appreciate, that we've circulated to everyone. Those questions actually were put online for a period of time as well for the public to see. So just again, want to ask again if, and maybe this is something that's going to come up in executive session, I don't know, but if not, or can't come up in executive session, I guess. Well, it may come in the hallways if we're going to executive session. And that being said, what I will do just to kind of keep everything going from a time standpoint and just knowing the department directors who've taken vacation, and they definitely will, undo their vacation to be here. We'll schedule a board meeting for 4 o'clock tomorrow here today. Once we come back from executive session, if we can't get to a consensus, not that it would happen in executive session, but we would come back and have a meeting tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Is there a motion? Oh, Director
Mayor,
Phillips.
I've got one quick thing that I wanted to did anyone have any issues with the list of items of professional services that was sent to y'all yesterday under $50,000? Because we'd like to go ahead and move on those before the end of the year. So if you have any issues, if you'd let me know. Thanks.
Director Phillips, then
Yeah,
Director Pierce.
I didn't have any issues, acting city manager. My question still, I guess I'm a logistics guy. So we're meeting tomorrow just to have the second reading, or are we planning on having the second, third, and vote?
It's my hope to have the second and third tomorrow, but it's always at the will of the city board.
I got a question.
Yes, Director Lewis.
What's the difference between tomorrow and today? Like, what's gonna take place that's gonna make a difference?
The city board members who aren't ready to go to a second and third reading would have to answer that question. I don't know. Director
Scott, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but
you're out of order. You're out of order. Is there?
I was.
You're out of order.
Yes, sir.
You're out of order. We can come talk to you after one of the staff members can say something to you. Director Computers. Tap it one time, Director Computers. No, one time.
One time.
Just hold it. Now take your hand away.
No, don't touch it again.
Don't touch it. Yeah. There you go.
One easy thing, and then to answer your question. Every year we talk about at Christmas and giving some money for the people that work here. So if you want to give some money, give it to Emily. But that's the easy thing. The reason that I voted no is that, and I'm not getting into the negotiations with the firemen, but we don't have a fire contract, and I'm very uncomfortable passing something where we don't have it. Now, I'm not, it's just, I want to know what that number is before I vote for it, and I'm not going to do it till then.
And I can share that with you because it's my understanding there have been some. We can talk about that is a personnel thing. We can talk about executive session. There is a police contract. There is not and the police contract hasn't been voted on. In many cases, again, I want to recall to your memory, many of the contracts that you all, many of the budgets that you all vote on do not have contracts signed until weeks after the budget's passed. So for anyone that's using that as an excuse, that doesn't happen. There are agreed upon parameters. The police, for instance, they're voting right now. They took their contract to be voted on at 6 o'clock, at 6 p.m. through Friday. So it won't be even approved through Friday. The city attorney's office have already gone through the review process. That's normal to not have a contract when you all pass a budget. So there has to be another reason. I do know there's a firefighter or two that have reached out to some board members outside of the contract process. I won't share anything publicly outside of the contract process because that's against the process. Otherwise, we have to go to arbitration. But if we need to do something we've never done before in the history of the city, that's fine. I mean, you all let me know the schedule. I'm here 24/7.
Well, and again, I'm not, your job is negotiation. I've not talked to any firemen, but I do know that there's an impasse according to the people on your staff that y'all haven't come to an agreement. And
I don't believe anybody on my staff has shared that with you. So somebody's talked outside of the process. I know the acting city manager hasn't shared that with you. I know the CFO hasn't shared with you. I know the chief people officer hasn't either. So again, that means
what I'm looking for is not the vote, but something that they can send to a vote. And I think
and that's fine. That's fine. We'll just do tomorrow. No reason. That's fine.
But it's not going to be ready tomorrow.
Huh?
I mean, the negotiations won't be done by tomorrow.
We'll just wait till next year. That's fine. Director Hines?
Mayor, you and I had a conversation earlier, and you said you had more negotiations to go, and y'all were meeting with them Friday, so I would be comfortable doing something on Monday.
Director Phillips?
And I just want to address Director Lewis's question, and this may be a question for the public as well. My understanding of how the rules work is that each meeting, a lot of times it takes 8 of us to suspend the rules so we can get to a second reading. It takes 8 of us to suspend the rules to get to a third reading. If we don't have 8 to get to the second or third reading, then you have to have a separate meeting to have the second reading. So if we had a meeting tomorrow, there will be a separate meeting, and that will allow us to have the second reading, but we still would need 8 votes to get to a third reading to vote tomorrow. And it sounds like, based on what I'm hearing from my colleagues, we may not have 8 votes to get to a third reading tomorrow, but we do have, if we assemble, we can have the second reading regardless of the number of votes. Is that correct, City Attorney? I mean, you
No,
still have to have 6.
you have to have a
6.
quorum of 6 to
Right,
be
that's
able
what I
to
meant.
read it.
Yeah, but you don't have to have the supermajority to suspend the rules. Correct. All right. I just wanted to share that for the public and to respond to Director Lewis.
So, right now,
So is Monday being considered,
Director Lewis, which,
is Monday being considered the 23rd because I am unavailable?
you're unavailable on the 23rd? Well, we will have a second reading tomorrow, and then that, as long as we can get 6 people either online or here, we'll have a second reading tomorrow, and then we'll schedule the third reading. Third reading, I know if you're unavailable on the 23rd, I know some board members are unavailable on the 26th. I'm fine with scheduling a meeting on the 24th. That's perfectly fine with me, but I don't think that'll be fine with most people. And so I guess we'll do it on the 28th, I guess. No, there's a couple board members out on the 30th.
Sorry,
You what?
28th is not gonna work either.
28th is not gonna work? Okay. Well, we'll find it. And like I said, if it needs to be in January, we'll find a date. But again, to the members of the public, I want to be very clear that the city has had this on the agenda for several weeks. It appears that we're invoking something that has been done ever before, because we never have a contract signed prior to a budget, and we won't have a contract signed prior to a budget unless it's done sometime in January, even as it relates, because we've come to way with the police department. And to clearly someone has went outside of the negotiations. If Director Compuris is aware of certain things and he didn't hear from me, as I did talk with Director Hines, and I shared with Director Hines, the issue is not a cost issue, it's a staffing issue that we're working through. And so, that being said, to whomever it did that, that's fine. We still will pass a budget this year pending the city board, and if not, it'll be next year. But that won't have bearing on the negotiations, because we don't discuss the negotiations publicly.
And, Mr. Mayor, I've not heard from a fireman on any particular, of any problem. All I've heard is there's an impasse, and that's all I've heard. And
There's no impasse. Impasse, actually, just so you understand the language, the impasse means that we would have to go to arbitration. We haven't even got to those steps. So even that word means someone has shared something with you. It may be best.
That's my word. Impasse is my word.
But that's part of the negotiation language.
That's fine.
Yeah. It's okay. Do we want to go to executive session?
I just don't feel that it's fair that we are holding up departments back. And I can only speak from a standpoint of just, I mean, everybody got families, and this time that we're about to approach, it's not fair. Are we doing anything differently that we haven't done? I get it, I'm new, but from last year and the years prior, like, what makes this year different? Because I do not feel, I just don't think it's right. I don't feel comfortable asking that people adjust their vacation schedules when we've known about this. So is there any way, I don't know if it's discussed later tonight or what, to get everybody on board?
Well, maybe between now and executive session, we'll figure that out. Is there a motion going to executive session?
So moved.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. We'll go into executive session. This is now in recess. Members of the board, we're coming back from executive session. Do appreciate that time. We'll now go into boards and commissions. For Little Rock Planning Commission, Wesley Pruitt. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. For Age Friendly Commission, Dr. Gail Chode and Allison Strippy. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. For Central Arkansas Library System, Ryan Davis and Madhav Sharaf. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Is there a motion to adjourn? There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned. I do. I want to go to the auctioneer license. I really do. I want my